to Coffee and Conversation. My name is Honorine, and today I'm with Alberto Garcia Marrero, who is pursuing a Juris Doctor in the College of Law. Alberto, welcome, and thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
First of all, can we start with a little introduction from you?
Sure. So as you said, my name is Alberto Garcia Marrero. I'm a second year here at our College of Law at Florida State University. I originate from Miami. I was born in Cuba, but raised in Miami, Florida. Been there my whole life. My accent usually gives it away a little bit. But that's about me. I went to Florida International University for my undergrad and for my MBA. And I took that year to do my MBA before coming to law school. And I've been here ever since in Tallahassee and really enjoying the experience.
Okay, and why law school?
I always get that question. So I'm kind of one of those typical kids who always wanted to go to law school. Coming from a Hispanic family, it was always a doctor or lawyer or engineer or any of those things, right? But I actually had a passion for the law from my days in civics education in middle school, just a passion for it and understanding our system and our judiciary. Really inspired me to want to go to law school. And so that's been my kind of career path ever since I'd say I was like 10 or 12. And then I'm here now and I've enjoyed it. I truly love law school, which is not something that a lot of people like to say. I actually enjoy the experience. I have fun, I enjoy it, and I can't wait to graduate also.
Is that your end goal?
It is. I would like to one day be a federal judge. That is my end goal. That is my passion. I think that with that role comes a lot of responsibility, but it has a lot of opportunity to help people. And I think that that's something that I've always been attracted to, being able to help people, whether it's through school, whether it's through philanthropy, through service. That's kind of what's always attracted me.
And where does it come from? Is it raised, or is it that person you met that inspired you, or is it like a celebrity that inspired?
I think part of it probably is how I was raised. My family was very much about education and being hardworking and just being kind and helping others, right? My father is the kind of person who would give his shirt off his back to whoever needed it. And I think that example and that model of family is what drove me to want to always help. And just being first generation and going through those hurdles myself through education, there's a lot of people that invested time in me, that invested resources, that really cared to push me forward. And so that kind of inspired me to do the same, whether it was through community service, whether it was through mentorship or philanthropy, whatever the case might be. I think it's that spark that they put in me that just continues to burn.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you invested resources. And when I was doing my research, I came from the Alberto Garcia Marrero First Generation Scholarship. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so that is something I started when I was doing my MBA at FIU. I was a first generation scholarship recipient when I was in the honors college there in my undergrad years. And so that had a great impact on me because it helped me financially to go to conferences, to develop myself professionally and all of that. And so I always told our development officers at the honors college that eventually I would give back when I could. We came up with a new program, the Pathway to Philanthropy program, just by virtue of me wanting to give back and to do it at such a young age. I was 22 at the time. It had never been done before. Young alums don't really give back other than, one-off giving. It didn't really consist of annual giving or long-term giving. And so we worked together to create this new program that helps young alums to give back and to establish endowments and name scholarships if they want to, right? And so it's a new way to get young alums into philanthropy with their respective institutions. And so that kind of grew out of me wanting to give back and create my own scholarship for students at the Honors College. And we actually just gave the first scholarship away this past month. So I'll be meeting the recipient within the next few weeks or months. And I'm excited because again, it's not just about giving them resources and money. It's also about giving them mentorship and guidance and helping them to achieve whatever they can achieve that you can help with.
So you raised that money, or is it money that you had and you wanted to give?
So that's money. So it's money that I give on an annual basis. So I do annual giving. It's a bit of a mixture, right? So it mixes, the program mixes, if you want to take part of it, it's a bit of annual giving. You can also include life insurance beneficiary to the university as well, part of that. And it also consists of creating a portal for others to give as well. So I have friends that have contributed to it because they want to support my philanthropy as well. And so that's also a portion of it. And my goal eventually is to one day have annual fundraisers for the scholarship to help it grow more than what I can contribute to it. But I do plan on just continuing to contribute to it as the years go by and help it grow.
Wow, that's amazing. 22 years old is really impressive.
Right. And it was a little bit of a challenge. There were obstacles, and just, again, universities are used to older, more established individuals doing this. And so we had to come up with unique ways and create new opportunities. Right. And it was a little bit of a challenge. There were obstacles, and just, again, universities are used to older, more established individuals doing this. And so we had to come up with unique ways and create new opportunities, because I always like to say, yes, it looks good to say you have a donor give $10 million. But if you can have 10,000 young alums, I mean, our institutions, FIU, FSU, UCF, all of the Florida State institutions are large institutions. If you can have 10,000 alums give $100, $200 a year or more, right? Maybe even $1,000 a year, which in a grand scheme of things, $1,000 a year is not too much for somebody who's an up-and-coming professional. That adds up, and that can have a significant impact on students. And you, like you said, first generation, for example, I mean, being a first generation student, a few $100s at a state institution can mean the difference between taking another 2 or 3 classes a semester versus not, and, you know, graduating sooner or using extra time to get externships or whatever the case might be. And so it really has a significant impact, even when it's small numbers, but in large volume.
Oh, I really like that. You're also a Florida Gubernatorial Fellow. I don't know if many people know about this program, or people who are outside of the College of Law. So for our large audience, could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so the gubernatorial program was started under Governor Jeb Bush in the early 2000s. And it was something that he started to kind of mimic the White House Fellows program that his father had started in the White House when he was there. And so essentially the program brings together students from all the state institutions. It's open to state institutions, students to apply, whether you're an undergraduate or graduate school or law school, which is, I guess, is a kind of graduate study. And so students apply from all over the state, and they select, usually it's about 12 to 15 students a year for the class, for the cohort. And you get placed with a state agency. And there's a lot of benefits that come with being a fellow, but the biggest part of it is getting exposure to agency work, executive work, really learning how it is that government works. And so that was kind of Governor Bush's vision, and it's grown. I'm a part of class 17. And the program has only grown to the point where now a lot of fellows from as early back as class 9 are within state government, whether it's at the governor's office, whether it's directors or chief of staffs at different agencies across the state. And so you're really seeing the impact that being a fellow has with those who want to pursue a career in public service and help our state grow. And so that's something that kind of attracted me to that, because again, I care about giving back, about learning how to help others. And so that was just a great fit for me.
Florida Gubernatorial Fellow program helped you in your career?
Well, I definitely think it has set me up for the next few years, for the next year in law school and for post-graduation. I mean, I work with the Division of Emergency Management, which is under the governor's office, and I work with our general counsel, and just being able to be with a general counsel and to network, because once you know one, they kind of introduce you to others. And so being able to network with people who are in the legal profession and who can help me once I graduate is phenomenal, and it's an indispensable opportunity. But also just the experience that I've gained here, whether it's with rulemaking or with administrative powers or executive powers or emergency powers that a governor might have. learning those things I think are important, especially kind of tying back to your point of me wanting to be a judge later down the road. Understanding how all of that works now gives me such a different perspective for when I'm on that side of the bench that I think a lot of people don't have. And so I think that's definitely helped me in terms of that.
Okay, that's awesome. And on your grad impact profile, when you were asked to sum up in 6 words why pursuing a graduate degree is important, you said it changes how you think thematically. And I was surprised by what you said, actually. Usually people say, without research, we can't move on, or things more about, for you, it was more like the global picture. And so what do you mean by it changes how you think? And I guess it was the word think systematically. What did you mean by that?
Well, so I have the unique experience of this is kind of my second graduate degree. I did my MBA before, and so I've been able to kind of get experience to 2 different styles of graduate study. My MBA was very much case study method, and everything was case study and teamwork based. Law school is just a lot of critical thinking. And what I've learned, and it takes a few years, so I've already finished my MBA, that was 2 years ago, so I've kind of been able to reflect on it, and now I'm in my second year of law school and I can reflect on my first. You realize that it really does change the way that you look at the world and that you think about issues and how to come up with solutions. So for example, pursuing an MBA degree, for example, and I tell a lot of students who ask me if it's worth it. If you haven't done a business degree, I think it is, because it changes the way that you think in terms of when you walk in anywhere. I mean, I say unfortunately, because it's kind of a curse sometimes. I can't walk into a Starbucks or another business and not think about overhead cost, fixed cost, variable cost, what's their break-even point? How are they making enough money to survive? It changes the way that you approach things and you analyze all of these things. And the same thing happens with law school. You look at a set of facts, or you look at certain issues that people come to you with, and you learn how to analyze them from a way that most people wouldn't think of. And so I think any graduate degree, no matter what it's in, changes the way that you approach life in a different way. And I think that is such an important tool to have. And I think it's why you see a lot of people pursue an MBA or a JD, because it really does have that impact that can help you, whether you want to be in management, whether you want to be a lawyer or a judge, or maybe even an entrepreneur or an engineer, whatever the case might be. Having those degrees and that experience changes the way that you approach issues, and that makes you an asset at the end of the day.
How do you see yourself 5 years from today?
5 years from today? Well, definitely a lawyer. Hopefully have passed the bar by then, and I'll be either in public service or making money, one of the two. I definitely want to see myself giving back more. At that point, I would hope to have been done with all my student loans and just be able to give back more, because it's something I truly, truly care about, because it is a ripple effect. I had somebody give back to me. Now I'm doing it, and I can have that same amount of impact with, X number of students for years to come, and then that gets multiplied. And so it really is a ripple effect. And I hope that really is in 5 years where I hope to be, whether professionally, maybe a judge, I don't know, it depends. There's a lot that goes into that, but definitely a stronger philanthropist.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I do hope that you accomplish everything you want. This philanthropy mentality, I hear that word a lot, but clearly you are the perfect example of what a philanthropist should be, because it's not only, it looks good to see philanthropy, but to actually be doing, this is impressive, especially at such a young age. So I hope you keep that mentality.
Thank you.